My name is Edward Kennedy, and I'm an MMC 6469 Diffusion of Innovations. What I wanted to discuss this evening is my research project and proposal which has to do with Bloom Intelligence, which is the company I work for, and specifically with Cisco Meraki access points. First, a little bit more about Bloom Intelligence. Bloom Intelligence is a data metric system which utilizes Wi-Fi technologies in order to actually accumulate consumer data through devices that actually go within the premises of an establishment. For example, Madison Social, let's say, which is one of our clients, and collects the user data for people that connect to the Wi-Fi or walk within the vicinity of the broadcasting radius for the access point device. And we really synthesize that data into a marketing metric system that our clients can hop on their dashboard that we develop for them and really make effective marketing decisions based upon the metrics that we pull. Regarding Cisco Meraki technologies, we use a Cisco Meraki system of access point. An access point is essentially in crude terms, a Wi-Fi router, but really what it is an amplifier of a internet broadcasting signal through Wi-Fi that we install at these client locations such as a Madison Social or really any other retail store or perhaps even a gym, where we centralize the installation of the access point to maximize the radius of the Wi-Fi signal in order to best capture a feed or a rough idea of who exactly is entering the premises of the location in broadcasting, not just broadcasting, but rather connecting to the Wi-Fi service. Now, one of the things I've noted as in my time with the company, I function as a customer success manager at this time, is in running operations of our Cisco Meraki access point systems. One of the things that we come across in our support ticket entries is often concerns with connectivity, which a lot of people kind of assume is really an issue to do with I guess you could say the Wi-Fi itself, which in a sense it is. A lot of times it's an issue with the internet. However, understanding consumer perception of a Wi-Fi product would be essential to maximizing our service as Bloom Intelligence, as well as allowing for us to gather a better understanding of how Cisco Meraki access points function. Another thing that we've noted in our support ticket entries that we've received in the past is concerns regarding actual authenticating into the Wi-Fi system, which really right now we have a accept terms authenticator, which allows for a user to just simply click a button in order to connect to the Wi-Fi itself. We've had some support tickets come in with concerns regarding the functionality of actually why they would need to authenticate to Wi-Fi in the first place. Now, in my research findings, there are really three core studies that I found regarding the various different research articles that I pulled. One of them being specifically the broadcasting range of mesh networks. A mesh network is essentially a accumulation of Wi-Fi networks or access points. So if you've got a large retail store that's multiple floors, you need a wide range of coverage because the problem that you have with broadcasting radius is it's not a circumference. It is more of a spherical shape. It broadcasts in different ranges, and it has to deal with all these different frequencies, and it deals with various different layers of bouncing through pillars and walls and etc. Materials just to collect data services. So the more you have to bounce through such obstacles, the more interference you're going to have with connectivity. And this is one of the topics that was touched upon was the functionality of mesh networks. And that's something that we're really looking to maximize as well as we install our services or as we install these Cisco Meraki access points into new retail stores, wide spaces, parks, shopping plazas, you name it. We're going to need a better understanding of what kind of access points we need and where we need to place them. Secondarily, there's a thing referred to as PCI compliance, which all commercial grade access points are required by federal law to comply with. And really, what PCI compliance does is it ensures a security authentication that when you connect to the Wi-Fi service, that It is a one-way communication between your device as well as the access point, and that's for security purposes. So you don't have someone trying to come in and really pull a pin and access your device and access all the sensitive information that may be on an individual device or on an access point for that matter. So that would really explain why we have the authentication measures implemented in the Wi-Fi guest access when you sign on to the Wi-Fi service. That's the reason why you have an authenticator there in most commercial grade access points. You may have some locations that install their own Wi-Fi, but however, those are usually unsecured networks. So if you ever go to a store, for example, and you connect to the Wi-Fi and it doesn't have you authenticate anything, you just sign right, you're just automatically connected. That's an unsecured network, and you're actually at risk of having your sensitive details extracted from your device, and that can happen at a pretty rapid rate, actually. Not to deviate too much further, however, the one last point is really regarding pinpointing the exact location of a device within a location. Like I said, we're in the business of identifying how many users are at a location, what the churn rate is for your specific store, your consumer loyalty. We can detect the frequency of someone returning to a location once they exit the broadcast radius. And really, a lot of these studies really focused on the pinpoint accuracy of location of each individual device as it enters into the radius of a Wi-Fi access point for Cisco Meraki. Ultimately, the problem we're attempting to address here is it's really threefold. It's identifying with guests that use our client's service because we install these access points at the client locations. It's addressing guest concerns. So guest concerns are really the security of the devices as they enter and navigate through the Wi-Fi access points and authenticate their devices to it, and gaining consumer perception of that. It's also regarding the pinpoint accuracy of our service for our clients themselves, which we can compare with the metrics that we're pulling. And in my proposal, I'm proposing ethnographic research of actually surveying guests at randomized locations for all of our various different networks that we have, surveying both physically on property at randomized, as well as online service that we can push through the actual landing page authentication process. And the final concern is really actual broadcast range. So if we've got a mesh network that's configured at a plaza, for example, just really kind of surveying from various different locations, surveying randomized guests at one point or another point on the premise of the property, and we'll have an idea of where exactly the access point is, and determining what the signal output is, determining what the perception is of the Wi-Fi signal and internet connectivity from a certain range. By doing all this, we ultimately will gather insights into what our constraints and limitations are with Cisco Meraki access points, maybe perhaps other technologies that we need to adopt as well in order to maximize our Bloom Intelligence service. But the ultimate goal in this regard for this research project would be to gather the specific consumer insights of Bloom Intelligence as perceived through the Wi-Fi broadcast signal. Do consumers feel secure when they use our Wi-Fi service? Do they feel that the signal output is steady and strong and fast? And finally, really for our clients themselves, we want to determine for them that the metrics that we're pulling and providing for them are viable and authentic. So in a nutshell, that's really my project proposal. I won't keep this going much longer. I've gone way over the 5-minute mark, but I hope that the findings here and the proposal can be approved. You guys have a good evening.